Welcome to the Collector Cave, and today we have a review of what currently is the last Final Fantasy VII Bring Arts figure in the line, and that is Cloud Strife with the Hardedge. Now we'll compare the original Cloud with the Buster Sword. He was figure 1, this is figure 19. I think the figures are identical, it's just you get a different sword. A similar thing happened with the pack line, Play Arts Kai. They released two Clouds, one with the broad or the Buster Sword and one with the Hardedge. But, you know, I've always enjoyed this packaging. I like how it's very minimal. You have the white background, it makes the figure pop, and then that nice gray ribbon there. And as we look in closer, it says Final Fantasy VII, Bring Arts, figure number 19, Cloud Strife, Hardedge version. And then ages 15 and up, warning, choking hazard, small parts, not for children under 3 years. And as you probably know, these are based off of the Numera art that he did for Final Fantasy back in the 90s, back for the original release in 1997. That's why it looks like this. It's not based off the new games. And then there is the little hologram. This is an official product and not a bootleg. There's the side of the box and the back, which is very similar to the other Cloud with the same poses, just with a different sword. And then you can see what you get. You know, not a whole lot. It looks like 4 hands, maybe 6, with the Buster Sword and the ability to put the plug in the back to put it on his back. There's some legalese. There is the UPC. There is the bottom of the box. And then the top. So let me get this guy unboxed and we'll take a closer look. All right, each of these Bring Arts figures comes with directions. Very simple. The hands plug and play. It shows you how to put the sword into the hand, how to put the sword into the back with the peg. And then this direction is actually a bit different. The direction for the stand's on the same side. And all the other figures, the directions for the stand was back up top. But there's some legalese. So here we go. Here's Cloud, and I believe it's the exact same body. I haven't double checked him yet. But so far, the left leg is not fallen off. That was a huge problem with the original Cloud. I've played with the leg a little bit. It's not fallen off as of yet. So you kind of get an overview. I did put the stand out, the base with the two grabbers. There's different sizes. I think both will fit with Cloud. If you want to put them on a stand or have them jumping with the flight rod, you can just stick that into one of these holes here. And then this clamp goes around his waist on top of the flight rod there. Here's the Hardedge, which looks really good. And that Japanese, I forget what they call it, the symbols there, it literally means like cut into 2 with a single stroke or something like that. Cut into 2 with 1 slice, something like that, which is pretty cool. That's what the Hardedge does. Now, I've been on a rant about this. Absolutely despicable that they did not put any materia in these slots. I'm so done with Bring Arts and Pack not doing materia. I understand one of these is to put the plug into his back, to have the sword in his back. But come on, guys, start slotting materia in. And there's some paint bleed here on this, as you can see. Pretty bad, actually. That side's not too bad. The symbols look pretty good. Yeah, really sloppy work right there by Bring Arts. And then the hands, he does come with an extra pair of hands. I believe it's these ones right here for gripping the motorcycle, the Hardy Daytona, which is cool because you can either order the Hardy Daytona by itself or with a Cloud figure, with the Buster Sword. I've already got the other Cloud, so I just ordered the single Hardy Daytona. So these hands will work good for putting him on there. And then as far as the figure himself, here's Cloud. This is an older mold here because the newer ones have bicep swivel. This one does not, but I'll zoom back just a little bit. You can see the arms go about 90. This one, the shoulder pad's a little janky. But it still goes up, you know, pretty good. Head looks down, doesn't look up very good. The neck is in place. There's no ball joint at the bottom of the neck. So he can only go so far because of his hair and the way they had the neck going forward. As you can see, the neck kind of goes forward in the body. And then a ball joint up top, which is really tight, hard to get some maneuverability. You can make him bend over pretty good. And then back, you know, not so much. These figures are not going to give you a lot of dynamic poses. They're more for displaying static poses on your shelf. So just know that going in. And this is like a ball hinge here, a ball peg. This can come off very easily if you're not careful. I've had mine come off my other figure quite a bit, but it can get out of the way for moving the shoulder up And then the arms do drop down. This shoulder doesn't want to go up higher though. I don't know why. I think it's just kind of stuck, but it should be able to go 90 like that guy does. And then they, like I said, they drop down. Not the prettiest looking joint, but there it is. And then it's like considered a double jointed elbow, even though it's a single. The way they do their elbows is different with Bring Arts and Pack. But it looks pretty good. That's the range you get. So a little bit over 90, right? Which is good. And then the legs do drop down. And this is where usually stuff falls apart. This is all rubbery plastic here. But the legs do go up, as you can see, over 90. Haven't fallen off yet, knock on wood. There's the knees. The knee joint's never the prettiest, but from the side it looks pretty cool. You know, some kind of like jumping pose you can get him doing. Looks pretty neat. So, and then you got ball joint ankles and then toe articulation on the boots. And the boots do have some tread. So overall, you know, not bad articulation. And the best thing I can say is that leg is not falling apart yet, which is amazing. So let's get him with some poses with the sword now. Okay, and there's a real quick pose with Cloud holding the Hardedge, one I kind of copied from the back of the packaging. But he holds it pretty good. You just got to be careful with the hands. You don't break the hilt sliding them in. But it slides in no problem with those hands. I had no problem changing the hands out. They weren't too stuck, which is good too. So yeah, I've always loved the Hardedge, one of my favorite swords in the game. So I think it's cool that they made a version with the Hardedge. All right, and there's a Hardedge attached to his back, giving him just a little pose here. Went in pretty good. It took me a minute for it to get seated properly, but it just goes into that lower hole there. But yeah, that's how it goes. You got to pull this piece out of the back, which is not easy. The piece is stuck in there pretty good. So just take your time with it, be patient, and you'll be able to pop that plug out. So now what we're going to do is we're going to compare this Cloud with the number one, release number one with the Buster Sword. Okay, and here is the new version release number 19, Hardedge with release number one with the Buster Sword. And there's actually some difference to the paint scheme. It's not a complete copy. The pants here have lighter shading on the front and darker shading than these pants do. And this belt is shaded darker than this belt, especially the metal pieces on it. I think that these are the same. This is more of a metallic, and this is more of a not so shiny, kind of laid back. And they're about the same height. This one's just a tad bit taller. And it could be because of the legs, I don't know. But they're about 6 inches to the top of the chocobo hair. And as you can see, the Buster Sword is much bigger than the Hardedge. And I don't know if that's accurate. I feel like this Hardedge might be a little small. I feel like that sword should be a bit bigger. While I like the look of it, seeing it up against the Buster Sword, you can tell here, it's much smaller. So yeah, I think the Hardedge should be a bit bigger. I'd have to go back to the in-game model and see. You know, but I always thought the Hardedge was one of the biggest swords out there. But regardless, you know, I got two Clouds. I got two because one's going to be on the bike. One's going to be on the bike, which I do have the Hardy Daytona. It came in today. I've had this guy for over a week. There's been a lot going on. Haven't been able to do much reviews. Been a little frustrated with where toys are right now, at least for, I live in America, North America. So the tariff thing has really made an impact on what these toys cost. And I'm glad I was able to complete this line and I'm done with it, because the prices now ordering from Japan are actually worse than ordering from Big Bad Toy Store. I got this guy, pre-ordered him. He was $86 through Plaza Japan, which I've been ordering a lot of these figures from because it's cheaper, even with the shipping. The shipping for him was $19.41. On Big Bad Toy Store, this figure is $119.99, plus your typical $4 shipping if you do that route. But it did say on Big Bad Toy Store, this does not include a tariff charge. Now, when I got mine, and this is a horrible story, this is a PSA for everybody out there collecting. I I got an email from UPS because Plaza Japan no longer uses Japan Post or is it Japan Post? Whatever they use in Japan to mail. They stopped mailing to America, to the United States with the tariff stuff. So it's either UPS or FedEx. And I thought I chose FedEx, but I chose apparently UPS. And I got an email from UPS saying I owed them $40 on delivery. And I thought it was a scam. I thought it was a scam email. I ignored it, didn't click anything in the link. I'm like, you've got to be joking me. I've never paid UPS in my life. UPS driver showed up at my house with this package and said I owed $40.05. I said, what? And I thought it was a Hardy Daytona for that price, but it was this cloud figure. And I was going to decline it and have it shipped back. And I'm glad I didn't, because I found out later on Plaza Japan's website, I would have had to pay the tariff charge and the shipping back. So it was very frustrating for the fact that I had to pay $40 more for this figure. And I went on their site, I sent them an email, and it's all because of that, whatever that law was that ended in August here in America, where they can now tax stuff higher that's under $800. And that's what happened. My Hardy Daytona showed up today. I paid online to UPS, and it saved some money as opposed to me paying them here today. I don't know what the difference is. This is all still very confusing. No one seems to have the answers. The UPS guy was confused. He's like, I've never done this before in my life. Had to take a payment from a customer. So it's a mess right now, at least for those of us here in North America, United States, I should say. So was this for me? I paid $145 for this guy. Very disappointing. Is he worth the $119 you'd get him from BBTS? I've told you guys from day one, for most of these, they're not worth the price. I say that, but if you're a hardcore FFF7 fan, or you want these for your shelf, you love Numera's artwork, then yeah, I think they're worth it. And I'm glad I have all of mine. They look fantastic on the shelf. But for the price, not worth it, especially now if you live in the United States and you're getting hit with these tariff charges on these toys coming overseas. You got to think twice. You got to think twice because stuff is ballooning in price. And so I see myself, scaling back. I love doing toy reviews. I love getting toys. I love doing toy photography. I've got plenty in my arsenal to last me many years of taking toy pics and maybe reviewing some old figures, how they stand up the test of time, stuff like that. So I'm definitely going to scale back, unfortunately, but that's where we're at today in this economy. So glad I have them. I'll be reviewing the Hardy Daytona next. But until then, let me know what you guys think about this figure. Did you get this version of Cloud? Do you like the Hardedge? If you live in America or United States, what do you think about these extra charges? It's going to hit home for a lot of people, I think, pretty soon. So yeah, anyways, give me a comment, like, subscribe, and until next time, this has been Final Fantasy VII Bring Arts, Cloud Strife with the Hardedge. Thanks for watching.